Hey guys, today we are going to be looking at creating another floating combat text, but this time we are going to be try to use a 3D widget. So in contrast with my last video where we rendered the text on screen, this time we're going to be try to looking at rendering it like inside the world. So let's get started. So we're going to be needing a function here. I called mine create floating text world, and it's going to be needing a float plus a color. So if we look at this, it's actually it's not a function but a custom event. We're going to be needing the floating combat text widget, which is basically just the old one from the other video. But we're not going to be needing a lot of things here, so you could just duplicate this one if you follow my last video, and then we are just going to be needing just a couple of things. We're going to be keeping the sec text function. We are going to be needing the this new function that I created here just to change the color. So this is going to be need to be exposed and spawn the color variable. We're going to be keeping the animation, the fade animation, and then another thing that I added was so that when the animation ends, we remove the widget. I also increased the animation to 5 seconds instead of 3. So once we have the create the widget, we pass on these values, and here is where the 3D widget part comes from. So we are going to be adding a widget component. We promote it to a variable. These are the location that I gave it. So this is going to be spawned like right in front of the character. We call the set widget function from here, so we can just do like set widget here, and then we set the floating combat text to that. So to actually like interpolate to the animation of the text in the world, we're going to be needing the location, the widget component. We're going to be using a timeline. So this timeline is just going to be changing the value from 0 to 1 over 5 seconds. And we're going to be starting here in the world location, and right now what I'm doing is I'm just moving 100 units up from the initial location. And if you wanted to play with the y-axis, then you could try and use any of these values here. So that every time it updates the world location. Then we just set the world location for the widget component, and once the timeline ends, then we just get rid of the widget component because we don't need it anymore. So that is going to be looking at something like this. So when I press 1, the text comes up, and if we also wanted to play with this, I guess so you could go to the side if you wanted to. Okay, so another thing to note, I guess, would be like the difference between using this and the other method would be that if you try to create multiple of these like at the same time, this is what's going to happen. So because I believe that the timeline can only process one at a time, so what ends up happening is that they sort of just stop. Like So if you try to make multiple at once, that happens, right? So that would be a downside of using this method versus the my other video. So yeah, that's how you would use a 3D widget. This is basically like, this would be like the same as just adding a widget component here. Yeah, but it's the same thing. But this way, you could just call it instead of actually like trying to input and attaching it to the character and stuff. But yeah, that's how you would try and I guess spawn the other text like in the world if you wanted to do that. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching, and I hope this helped you out. See ya.